What's going on, anime community? It is your boy Almighty Geek, and I am back today with another Jujutsu Kaisen video, you guys, on chapter 237. But before we get into this video, like always, like, comment, and subscribe. You guys don't have to, but it would definitely be much appreciated in order to grow the channel. But without further ado, let's get into this chapter 237. Now it starts off right where we left off, guys, with Thunder God Kashimo heading into the battlefield, getting ready to fight Sukuna, getting ready to throw them blows. And again, just a little segue real quick, guys. We gotta kind of appreciate for the last couple of weeks that has been nothing but bangers when it comes to Jujutsu Kaisen so far. Like nothing but bangers, whether it's the manga or the anime. We have been getting fire. I appreciate it. I hope you guys appreciate it. Ain't taking anything for granted. I know the Gojo fans are kind of mad about what happened. I know the Sukuna fans are happy, so they're pushing you guys to the brink. But hey, man, let's let bygones be bygones, and let's continue to witness this greatness when it comes to Jujutsu Kaisen. But look, man, as he's headed into the battlefield, my boy Kashimo, he notices a block of ice in the sky, and he's like, what the hell is that? But if you know if it's a block of ice in the sky, who can it be? Ume. Yep, that is right. The ice star himself, Ume, is in the sky, ready to get it popping. But as again, he's ready to fall down to the battlefield, we see another person. Another person appears right behind him, and yes, it's Hakari getting ready to get it popping. Like, let's go. What's good with you, man? We already knew it was gonna happen, man. I'm so happy to see Hakari, man. Finally, we get to see my boy get it popping in one of the main events. Umen again immediately looks at him and says, nah, you're not gonna get in my way. He activates ice formation, but Hakari at that moment instantly goes domain expansion, trapping Ume inside there together. Again, I can't wait till we segue back to that battle so we get to see them get it shaken. I hope it's just not one of those things where the domain expansion just pops and we see one of them just standing up, you know what I mean, like the victor of the battle. I hope we really get to see that one right there, guys. But we see as Ume's block of ice is falling to the ground, it starts to melt. And that's when Kashime notices something. He notices there's something inside the block of ice, and it shots down to the ground. Sukuna grabs it, and it is none other than the cursed tool, Kamutoki. And again, I am sorry, guys, if I messed that up, but that's just the way I'm gonna pronounce it. But Sukuna grabs the cursed tool Kamutoki, which was made by Yurozu, and we already know what that was about. We already know about the bind. We already know about what's going on with that. We don't need to get into the dirty details of how that played a part, but we finally get to see Sukuna use as a weapon. Oh my god. Like I said, man, I thought most of this was going to happen during his battle with Gojo, but yeah, apparently Sukuna was really holding back in that battle, so kudos to him. I would think he would have to go all out versus Gojo and his infinity and how OP that is, but again, Sukuna had more tricks up his sleeve apparently. Gojo was correct in the afterlife by saying Sukuna did not go all out in his battle with him. And from the looks that Sukuna is giving off while looking at this cursed tool, we already know it's about to go down, bruh. We already know him and Kashimo's about to throw them fucking hands, which they do. But before they do, as always, you know, there gotta be some quick type of dialogue in all these type of battles, man. Which I kind of actually like this one, man. It's just Kashimo trying to ask Sukuna, were you born the strongest, or did you obtain the title of the strongest through other means? We also see that it looked like for a minute that this cursed tool kind of had no effect either on Kashimo, and it would be understandable because his curse energy and it's resistant to electricity, you know what I mean? So it's like I do understand that, but okay, that's something new. I'm assuming that later on in the battle it might be one of those like overload things. I mean, just from what they explain later on in the chapter, and we're going to get to that, guys, I feel like throughout this battle, it will start to eventually be one of those, okay, let me see if I can overload Kashimo with all this power and see if it kind of can slowly just drain his body out. You know what I mean? But Sukuna answers him back by saying, who knows? He was born a curse. He was born unwanted. we then get a little panel of a flashback, and I thought that was more of a flashback with Kashimo. I remember when the spoilers came out, a lot of people thought like, oh, we're probably gonna get a Sukuna, flashback or something that looked like it was more Sukuna. But I'm like, when you look at the hair and everything, obviously it looked like it was more of Kashimo, remembering something of his past. You know what I mean? Their conversation then takes a segue to Kashimo saying like, yo, I never understood the weak, just to be honest with you guys. Like, he couldn't connect to anybody that was weaker than him. He didn't think of anything about anybody that was weaker or people that was weaker than him. He just all thought they were just like frail and just weaklings, you know what I mean? He then ended the conversations by saying, is shrink solitude? Or is it an endless search for greater power? So which one is it? Do you get strong by yourself, and because of that reason think nothing of anyone else that is weaker than you? Or do you guys go out and, search for the strongest? Or does the strongest, search for you? This is, kind of the bearer of the person who has the title of the strongest, from what Kashimo was trying to explain. Hence why he's there at the battlefield right now, wanting to see who's going to win between him and Sukuna. Which is funny because Sukuna just looks at him, basically say like, yeah, you and Gojo are definitely alike. You guys are all alike. But from that point, guys, on, the battle continues. It's on a full scale level. Kashimo starts swinging like crazy at Sukuna. Sukuna's blocking. He's dodging left and right. Kashimo then releases his curse technique, Mythical Beast Armor. And I was like, hey, yo, look fire. Not gonna lie, look fire. Definitely looks dope. Which catches Sukuna all off guard. And it had to, because you see him deliver a right straight to Sukuna's face. Just bow, catch them straight to the jaw. Sukuna pulls back, trying to hit the Taylor Swift, trying to shake it off. But Kashimo is right there in his face, man. Thunder, lightning, whatever, all over his mouth, ready to hit this bruh with the thunder roar. Point blank rage, man. Like, looking to take Sukuna out. The narrator then goes on to give us an explanation of Kashimo's current ability. He says the mythical beast armor transforms Kashimo's body, rendering any phenomenon that can create electricity a weapon in his arsenal. Hence why I said I don't think that the cursed tool will work, but it probably could, in being one of those factors where it comes to overpowering Kashimo, not overpowering him. I want to say overpowering like the circuits, when something goes haywire, it has too much energy and then it kind of blows up. Something like that, After which we get the explanation. Kashimo again begins to speed blitz Sukuna, just give my boy the hands and everything. But again, the narrator stops to explain with this new transformation, it increases the agility, it increases the brain signals, it increases the sound waves to match the natural frequencies of the materials, vaporizing objects using electromagnetic waves. Meaning that my boy Kashimo has surpassed his limits. But with that being said, with him surpassing his limits, the narrator goes on to say that once this curse technique concludes, his body will crumble. Meaning it is all over for Kashimo after this technique, which is really weird. This, I guess, is a last ditch technique. And who knows, I guess this fight might not go on for too long. I thought maybe we might get a good 4 or 5 or 6 chapters since we just got all that greatness between Sukuna and Gojo, but that might not be the case. But yo, the biggest surprise is at the end though, guys, is at the end of the chapter. Because no, you guys, the narrator does not stop there. The narrator explains, apart from reverse curse technique, Sukuna has a method of restoring his body. He can only use this method a single time. Meaning he was pushing this off when he was fighting Gojo. And at the end of the chapter, we see a panel of the original Sukuna in his true form manifested, guys, and oh my god, I cannot wait for the next chapter, man. We finally get to see my boy Sukuna go all out. Like, go all out. This is crazy. Again, he didn't even do this against Gojo. Against Gojo of all people, but he is willing to go all out like this against Kashimo. And does that say something about Kashimo? Did he really push Sukuna to that extent, or is Sukuna just kind of going overkill at this moment, trying to show everybody that no one is on his level currently? I thought this arc couldn't get any better, guys, but oh my god, it went from 100 to 1,000 instantly, in my opinion. And if I'm correct, we have no break next week, meaning we get the continuation of this battle. Like, guys, seriously, I can only tell you guys how happy I am, man, to be a Jujutsu Kaisen fan at this very moment. Again, we have been getting nothing but bangers. We're not going on a break next week. We get to see the conclusion of this fight, at least, because it might conclude in the next chapter. Let's just be honest. From what they were explaining about